All right, good evening. Thanks for joining in to Your News Arizona. I'm Jonathan Alexander reporting. Um, Tonight, I'd like to share with you guys a little bit about what's been going on. We have J.D. Vance. He rips into the judge for ruling and mandating that Trump administration fully funds SNAP. And I want to get that out there to you guys and share this with you guys. Um, and this just seems to be a nonstop ordeal that we're having right now with these judges overstepping their boundaries. And just give me a couple minutes, and I'll be live. I'll be right back live with this broadcast. Just um, got a lot. Got a lot going on tonight, and I want to get that out there to you guys. All right, guys, we're back. So tonight, I want to share with you guys about J.D. Vance and what he's doing. He got pretty upset about these judges, and I want to get this out there to you guys. I'm going to share a little bit of this broadcast with you.
Fox.
Thank you, Mr. President. A federal judge said tonight that the administration has to fully fund SNAP. It's the latest in the back and forth, and the Justice Department said they're going to appeal it. What's your message to folks as they work this out in the courts and in Congress as we're heading into Thanksgiving?
You want to go with that?
Yeah, look, Jackie, it's an absurd ruling because you have a federal judge effectively telling us what we have to do in the midst of a Democrat government shutdown, which what we'd like to do is for the Democrats to open up the government. Of course, then we can fund SNAP, and we can also do a lot of other good things for the American people. But in the midst of a shutdown, we can't have a federal court telling the president how he has to triage the situation. We're trying to keep as much turned on. We're trying to keep as much going as possible. The president and the entire administration are working on that, but we're not going to do it under the orders of a federal judge. We're going to do it according to what we think we have to do to comply with the law, of course, but also to actually make the government work for people in the midst of the Democrat government shutdown. If they would like to end this, we would be.
So, I'd like to just voice my thoughts on this matter. You turn around, you look at what these federal judges are doing. They're playing like they're the president of the United States. They think they can order Trump to do this, order him to do that. When this is the Democrat shutdown, this is a Schumer shutdown, and these Democrats are a bunch of chicken shits that are afraid to stand up to these other Democrats, and just all worried about their positions in office by voting with the Republicans to end the shutdown all over this illegal bull crap that we know about, where they're trying to make it to where we have to feed and house these illegals and everything else. I can't express that enough. This is what this shutdown's about. Crock of shit. Excuse my mouth tonight. But you turn around and you see what's going on right now. It's ridiculous. I'm going to play a little more of this.
We would welcome working with them to end this government shutdown, and then we wouldn't have to triage what we're going to fund and what we're not going to fund. And the last thing that I'll say is the American people are unfortunately about to start suffering some very real consequences because of the shutdown. In the past, when you had a government shutdown, you would have, under the Obama administration, they would lean into all of the problems it was going to cause for the American people at the beginning of the shutdown. The president has told us to keep as much going as humanly possible. But after 30 days of this thing, 40 days of this thing, you're going to start seeing very real travel delays. That's because the Democrat government shut down. You're going to start seeing SNAP benefits run out. That's because the Democrat government shut down. They should stop this charade and open up the government. That's what we want them to do. We've been asking.
So, this is a lot like what I said last night in last night's report. I got a feeling coming right around Thanksgiving, the government is going to be in under a lot of heat. I believe our airlines are not going to be functioning like they should be. I believe there's going to be tens of thousands of passengers getting stranded or whatever else. I mean, this is what it's coming down to. I know Donald Trump right now, he is in the process of appealing this as well with the judge, because right now these judges have no say in this kind of a shutdown, even though they think they can order the president around. I do believe Donald Trump is going to be taking a lot of other steps to put an end to all this crap. I'm going to go ahead and get to the next one I want to share with you guys. And this is from Sean Hannity a little bit ago.
Welcome to this special edition of Hannity. I'm Jason Chaffetz, in for Sean. And tonight, big news. After nearly 40 years and 20 terms in Congress, 85-year-old Nancy Pelosi, she's finally calling it quits. Earlier today, here's how President Trump commemorated her time in office. Watch this.
Nancy Pelosi's retirement.
I think she's an evil woman. I'm glad she's retiring. I think she did the country a great service by retiring. I think she was a tremendous liability for the country.
And on Dick Cheney.
I thought she was an evil woman who did a poor job, who cost the country a lot in damages and in reputation. I thought she was terrible. Thank you very much.
Despite what you might hear from her adoring fans in the liberal media, Pelosi is leaving behind a sad and destructive legacy on multiple fronts. First, as a longtime leader in the Washington swamp, she ignited a storm of hyperpartisanship that continues to this day.
Our founders did not want to have, again, how can I say this? It'll sound like I'm awful about Trump because he's just a vile.
I can tell you how we can say this. That woman is nothing but a real wackadoodle. She's a mental case, and she should have retired a long time ago. But either way, that's just my opinion on this woman.
Vile creature. The worst thing on the face of the earth. But anyway.
You think he's the worst thing on the face of the earth?
I do, yeah. I do.
It's not.
Well, I think the American people think she was the worst thing on the face of this earth. I mean, this woman was a real piece of crap, and she's a hater and hates anything that Donald Trump has ever done. Despite all the good our president has done for this country, this woman has been out to get him from day one. She is just as bad as Chuck Schumer. Schumer boy needs to step down and retire as well. I think the American people are fed up with that SOB. And again, this government shutdown is strictly because of the Democrats. Nobody wants to 100% admit that, but that's what it comes down to. These Democrats think they're going to stronghold America, that they hold the power, and I do believe that they believe if they starve enough people, then the American people are going to be pissed off at Donald Trump over this when this is the Democrats doing this. And actually, believe it or not, I see a lot of even Republicans right now getting pissed off at Donald Trump for not giving in to the Democrats. Well, if you guys are okay with us feeding illegals, housing them, giving them medical benefits and all that stuff, then you just go side with the Democrats. I mean, that's your choice. But you know what? This man right here, I'd rather starve than to sit there and allow this kind of an invasion on America, allow us to be taking care of these illegals when we can't even take care of our veterans. We can't take care of the American citizens, the homelessness that we already have here in America. We can't take care of this, but yet the Democrats want to take care of every damn illegal that's entered through our borders. Think about it, people. So
It's not just words. Pelosi dragged the country through 2 pointless partisan impeachments. She blocked her party from supporting any Trump-backed bills, including those with prior bipartisan support. She ripped up Trump's State of the Union address in a tacky performative stunt. She sought to demean and smear the president and his supporters every single day. And look where it got her. Trump is now serving his second term as her president, while she takes a backseat to history. By the way, this didn't start during President Trump. As House Speaker under President Obama, Pelosi rammed through one of the worst bills in American history, the Affordable Care Act, aka Obamacare, for purely partisan reasons. She didn't even seem to know what was in the bill. Remember this?
It's going to be very, very exciting. But we have to pass the bill so that you can find out what is in it away from the fog of the controversy.
Okay, hey, we got a mystery box.
By the way, the Affordable Care Act only made healthcare costs go up exponentially.
Speaking of the Affordable Care Act, I know a lot of people that the Affordable Care Act was just sinking them. Just the amount it was costing them a year for it was just outrageous. But yet the Obama administration swore up and down that was the greatest thing for America. Either way, what a crock. We all know it was, and I'm just going to leave it at that. So I want to get to the another one I want to share with you guys tonight. Then I want to get over to my friend Mark Lamb, and what Mark Lamb stumbled across here a while back. Pretty much kind of what I've been describing about the border crisis down in the Tucson sector and Yuma. Well, Mark Lamb was out checking things out, and he came across exactly what we've been reporting on for months and months and months. And I'll get to that broadcast to you guys in a minute. I want to share this last one, and we'll skip over to Mark Lamb.
As the shutdown delays SNAP benefits now. Tonight, the Trump administration is appealing a judge's order to fully fund the benefits for November. So 11 Alive first told you earlier this week about a court order requiring the government to make partial payments. Well, this afternoon, a judge said the government did not act quickly enough to get the money out to those recipients. So the judge ordered the Department of Agriculture to tap his contingency fund to make full payments to the states by this Friday, tomorrow.
Well, wish them luck on that. Again, this is a kind of crap that these federal judges are doing. They're trying to intervene for the Democrats. They're wanting to make sure, and I understand nobody wants to go hungry. I really do understand that. So don't misunderstand me tonight either. But, you do this right now when this should be the Democrats doing this. And you got judges stepping in line, ordering Trump around what he can and can't do when he's the president of the United States. And this is a Schumer shutdown, Chummy boy. This is his shutdown, strictly his. He owns it. And now he doesn't know how to get out of it because he's got the Democrat Party that is down his throat saying, don't you dare give in. And good old Chucky Boy is just going to just play the game and carry this out for however long these Democrats want to keep the government shut down. I'm going to be truthful about it. As far as I'm concerned, got to just keep it shut down. Eliminate the Democrats and just get rid of all this crap that they're doing anyways. And the longer we got to shut down, the less crap we got from the Democrats because they're not in office trying to stronghold everybody with all their policy craps and everything else in the book. Um, anyways, hope for those of you that are maybe getting upset with me over this tonight, well, get over it because that's just my opinion. You're entitled to yours. So, okay, I want to share with you guys my buddy Mark Lamb, what he stumbled onto down in the Yuma sector, and that you guys see this for yourself.
Yep, I'm retired Sheriff Mark Lamb, just retired January 31st, 2024. For 8 years, I was the sheriff of Pinal County, Arizona, which is between Phoenix and Tucson. And believe it or not, we're not on the border, but we have extensive border problems in this county. Not only do we have them that come through the desert area on the south end of our county, which is 52 miles off the border, we also have the trafficking along the I-10 and the I-8 interstates. So I-10 for the last 4 years, huge amount of people being trafficked, drugs being trafficked, and then you also have the guns and the cash being trafficked back to Mexico down that corridor. And then 4 years ago, under the President Trump administration, the first one, the biggest thing that we saw was people coming through the desert area south of us, directly south of us where the Indian reservation is. They would come through the Tohono O'odham Indian Nation and they would traffic them right up here to the I-8 or to a spot we're going to right now. I'm going to take you to a spot that was a loadout spot. So people would come across, they would drop all their backpacks, their water jugs, and then they would be picked up by somebody that the cartel would pay to pick them up. And this area where we're going is about 75 miles off the border. And that's how deep they were getting into the country. So they would come up this canal road. So they would come through the reservation, come across the I-8, which starts in Pinal County and runs all the way to San Diego. And they would walk up this canal. And then this area is one of the staging areas. Look right here. That hat is a hat brought here by an illegal. Now, I'm going to remind you.
Does this mean something? Like,
Yeah.
Is that marking something?
That's a marking for them.
So what are they marking?
They're marking that this is where they'll be picked up.
So somebody came and waited right here and got picked up.
This is where the cars would come and pick them up, right here.
Okay.
This is all, look at all this water jugs, okay? Look at these backpacks right here. I'm gonna show you a ton. And this will pick up again. Now that the cartels no longer can just bring people across so easily, this is gonna get to be a hot spot again, but I'm gonna go show you a lot more.
So how are they getting through the border now that the border is shut? How are they getting through? Is there a hole
Well, there's
in the
no
fence?
wall. On the reservation, there's 0 feet of wall. Along the Indian reservation is only, at best, 3 strands of barbed wire fence. So that's...
So I don't know if you guys followed me last night on my reporting. That's what I was reporting for the Tucson sector, the Yuma sector. And, I've been covering this for a lot of months, telling you guys the same thing as what he's telling you tonight. The tribal land is not allowing Trump's wall to be in place. Point blank and clear. This is where the illegals are coming through every day. This is where the cartel comes through because the tribal land refuses to put up a border wall there, Trump's border wall. And that's how they're getting their drugs through, their human trafficking through. everything in the book. This is where they're coming through, just like I reported on in the past.
It's the best you're going to get. Maybe some Normandy barrier is all you're going to get. And so they just walk right across to the reservation, and there's very little police in the reservation. We're going to go this way.
Why don't we tell the reservation, like, shut your damn border? I mean, can't we encourage them to put up a
Yeah,
wall?
it'd be nice. Look at all this stuff. This has been washed out because this is obviously a wash, right?
Yeah, look at the
But look at all this: backpacks, clothes, blankets, water jugs, all this stuff. When I was sheriff, my first 4 years, I used to bring congressional people out here, and we would come out here, and every day I would bring somebody. We had fresh stuff, like fresh clothes. The water washes it all that way too, so it kind of cleans it up. But look along here, water jugs. We used to see.
There's a blanket right here.
Oh yeah, that's nothing. We'll see a ton more.
All right.
Think about it, like this is the perfect place for them to hold up, because these trees are much more grown over. Somebody's come through here and cut these trees, but usually this is very grown over and very covered. But if you look all along here, look at their water bottles, clothes.
How recent would you guess this is, the water bottles?
Look, this stuff is not as recent because this is too hot right now. But in another month, I guarantee you this will start to pick up again and this will get all fresh again. But let's walk over here. Look at all this stuff.
Oh my God, this looks like they had a little camp right here. This one's camouflage.
Nuba, yeah. And you know why they use the black?
No.
Because the black doesn't reflect from a distance. So if Border Patrol, the water will reflect from a distance, and so they use the black water jugs.
Yes, okay, they are smart.
Look at all this. Look at all this. Now, I literally could show you 100 different places in my county.
Holy shit.
Where this is what it looked like. This is what it was like. This area under the first Trump administration was a hot spot. Like every day we'd come out here and there was new clothes and new backpacks. And then it was, like I said, it was so easy for them to cross over that we didn't see it as much. There wasn't as much new stuff every day for 4 years because they could just cross. Here's the other thing too, like these carpet shoes.
So if you guys don't know much about the carpet shoes, I'll just explain it to you real quick. They're basically like a pair of slippers that the cartel wears when they're going through the desert. And when they put them over their boots and their shoes, it makes it where there's no footprints in the sand. And that's exactly what carpet shoes are used for.
Like they use these carpet shoes. They put them on over their boots and you see the residue. Look at all these carpet shoes everywhere. People will ask me, they'll say, do you think there'll be terrorist action? Yeah, absolutely. But I always tell them it's already happening. People will say, well, what do you mean? I go, we've been conditioned to think that terrorism is a bomb going off or somebody walks into a church with a gun. That's what we've been conditioned to think terrorism is, or 9/11. To me, terrorism is killing Americans. And our enemies.
And real quick, I'll just tell you what he's meaning by it's killing Americans. He's talking about the amount of fentanyl coming through our borders, the millions of people that are dying or will die because of the fentanyl. This is an act of terrorism from the cartel. They know exactly how they're affecting the American people with their drug. And, they don't even have to have guns to fire a shot at America. They're poisoning us each and every day with their fentanyl, their meth, cocaine, whatever else they want to traffic through. This is how they're killing America. And, the Democrats seem to be okay with it.
China, the cartels are the purveyors of it, but they have figured out how to kill Americans without firing a single shot or setting off a single bomb. They're killing. Fentanyl became the leading cause of death in America between the ages of 18 and 45 over the last 4 years, to the tune of about 100,000 people a year. It has become the leading cause of death, killing Americans of all ages. every year, and yet we did not treat it as if that was some type of terrorist threat to us. Our government failed the American people. So yeah, it's not a theory. They've already been doing it.
You know, I'm also going to add to what he's saying right there. So when we were down there on the border reporting, we actually had the cartel flat out laugh at us. We actually had some senators with us on a trip when we were reporting on the border, and they flat out told us all of America's dead. And they even told us how they were going to do it. They said they were going to take bricks of fentanyl, drop them right in our water supply, and it's over for America. For any major city out there, if you go down to your water treatment plants, we've already been around. We've interviewed several of the different water treatment plants after being told about this from the cartel. Um, you're looking to find maybe one, two security guards on duty. Out of the two security guards, none of them were armed. It'd be so easy for a cartel guy to go in there, take them out, put the fentanyl right in the water system, to where, you hit a city like New York, LA, Chicago, any major city, you drop a big brick of fentanyl, a 10-pound brick, 20-pound brick, and guess what? You just lost millions of people. That's, that quick. And, that's exactly what he's talking about as well with the terrorist attacks. You know, they don't even have to fire a shot one at us. All they got to do is poison us. And, this is another thing that I'm so pissed off about these Democrats at these No Kings events. Just writing about everything, acting like, America's safe, hunky dory. It's people like Mark Lamb, me, that's out in the field. We're exposing this. We get it out to the American people. And people are just too dumb to open their eyes and ears and just see what's really going on. And this is why we continue our mission. I'm going to be back down in the Tucson sector and Yuma sector reporting on this crap as well. And we are going back into the heart of the cartel areas on American soil to get that out to you guys. I'm going to finish this broadcast for you, though.
I don't know what their motivation is. They're not our friends, so their motivation is to weaken us. Either you kill us or you drug us to where we're not the lions that we used to be in this country. That's reality. And yet Americans refuse to wake up to the fact that we've been being attacked, which is why it was so important over the last 4 years to protect our borders and not let military-age men or drugs come across the border. And yet we had a government that totally turned a blind eye. Not even turned a blind eye. They actually funded it, and they actually were anytime you tried to do something.
Now, what Mark Lamb means right there by our government funded it, we're talking men of fighting age. We've had, at times when I've been down there reporting in the Tucson, Yuma sectors both, we've had sometimes 200-300 all fighting age men come to the border. No women, no children. These were all men of fighting age. Under the Biden administration, all they had to do is come through that border. They would line up, like I said the other day, they'd line up like they're going to Disneyland. Border Patrol would show up, take them in, give them a boarding pass with their luggage, whatever they're bringing into America, take them over to the transport station, get them processed, in on a plane or a bus to a city near you guys all across America. This happened each and every freaking day, 365 days a year for 4 years, for 4 years under the Biden administration. And don't think this shit didn't happen under Donald Trump's watch either. I know everybody thinks Donald Trump is all about the border. Well, I applaud Donald Trump for what he's doing now with our borders. Thank God. But even under the Trump administration, we had a border crisis, and nobody really wanted to talk about it under the Trump administration. Well, I will talk about it. The same crap was going on. The only difference is Donald Trump was not sitting there allowing these illegals just to come on in, give them a nice little paycheck, free housing, free food, free everything, plus a free flight across the country to you guys. Donald Trump wasn't allowing that, but we still had a crisis even under Donald Trump's watch. And anybody that wants to get pissed off at me tonight for beating up on Donald Trump, I'm not beating up on him. I'm just pointing it out. I mean, this has been every president that we've had problems under when it came to the border. Thank God we got a president in office right now, Donald Trump, that has said enough is enough. He's taken action. He has got our borders pretty well secured, minus the tribal lands, because the tribal lands is where these thugs keep coming through. So back to the broadcast here. There.
Something to stop it, they would stop you from stopping it.
Yeah, America, wake up.
Anyhow, I love our president. I love what he's been doing for our country. Yeah, so don't get me wrong, folks. Donald Trump has done a lot for this country, especially in a short time that he's been in office. But at the same time, I just wanted to point it out that, we even had problems with our border even under Donald Trump, before Biden came in. And Trump did a lot, but he should have done more back when in his first term that he is in office, in my opinion. But thank God, like I said, thank God he's taken action now. And, promises were made, promises are being kept. And this president is definitely taking control of the borders. He can't take control of the tribal land because the tribal councils on the Indian reservations are not allowing the border wall to go in place. I keep bringing that up in different broadcasts to you guys. And, that's where they're coming in. And, so in other words, the tribal land, they're getting paid buku bucks, from the cartel to be allowing, the cartel to come through trafficking their drugs, human trafficking, whatever. They're just getting paid off. And I've interviewed a lot of the tribe, the people of the tribe. I've interviewed several of them. They are totally against the cartel coming through their properties and everything else, because they're not only are they raping their women and children, they're taking their children, human trafficking them, and there's got to be a way to get these tribal councils on board and say enough is enough. And I don't know what it is Donald Trump can do. As far as I'm concerned, he ought to just throw up a border wall right through the tribe and say the hell with you. We'll open the gate when you want to come through. Other than that, we're not allowing these illegals to come through anymore. That's what I'd try to get done if I was President Trump, but I'm sure Congress would fight it, and I'm sure I probably wouldn't win that battle. So anyways, guys, we got a live broadcast tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Hope you guys can join in. And got a morning talk show that's going now. And it's going to be Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 Mountain Time. And hope you guys can join in for our live broadcast on that. And again, we're going to be live on Q Broadcast. Hopefully starting next week, we'll have our TV channel up in place and going. And hope you guys can join us over on Q Broadcast as well. If you guys haven't checked them out, check them out. I'll put a link out here for them. And you guys can check it out. There it is up there in the left-hand corner. And if you guys like watching TV, $59.99 a month, you get unlimited everything. Cable, all the cable channels that you get on cable and satellite, you get on Q Broadcast for $59.99 a month versus $100, $200 a month bills for having, Showtime, HBO, Cinemax, Stars, Encore, all your movie channels, all your pay-per-views. You get everything for $59.99 through Q Broadcast. It's a Patriot-owned company. They don't do a contract. It's month to month. If you do sign up now, I think they extended the offer to last 7 more days. If you do sign up now, it's $59.99 a month, and you're locked in for life at that price without a contract. After this time, the time period is up, it's going to raise up to $69.99 a month, which is still a reasonable price considering cable and satellite bills. But right now, if you decide to sign up, You can scan the QR code right there that I put up on the screen, and check it out for a month. If you don't like it, you can cancel anytime, and they don't charge you extra to cancel. So, all right, guys, plan on seeing you guys tomorrow morning. Appreciate you guys joining Your News Arizona tonight. God bless all of you patriots out there. I'll mention that as well. Q Broadcast is 100% patriot owned. That's what drew me to these guys, is they are patriot owned. So you guys got to check it out. Quit supporting these damn Democrats and get on board with a company that is patriot owned. So other than that, guys, we'll see you tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. Mountain Time. God bless all of you guys. This is Jonathan Alexander reporting live.